Hello everybody, it's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Welcome to my YouTube premiere. Hey, tonight I've got some really great flashcards for you. We're going to take those flashcards and we're going to turn them into a great gift. Guys, I love to give hand-stamped cards as a gift, and they are one of my most well-received gifts. This little package is a quickie. All right, so we've got our 4 flashcards inside. These are actually done with our note cards and envelopes, and that makes it really, really simple. I'm very excited to share with you how to create these. Now listen, as we're creating tonight, I hope that you'll take a minute to join me in the chat room. So it is October 10th. At 7 p.m. Central Time. If you're on YouTube with me right now at 7 p.m., I'm over in the chat room. I would love to chat with you during tonight's premiere. It's one of the highlights for me. It's a great opportunity for us to just kind of get to know each other, and you can ask questions, and it's just like being live, only a little bit different, and I think it is tons of fun. So be sure to log into your YouTube account so that you can be in the chat, because that's the only way you can chat. So this is a good opportunity to do that. And hey, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, do me a favor. There's a great big red subscribe button. Be sure to click it so that you'll get notifications every time I'm back with a new video or I'm back on with a new premiere. Guys, tonight's project is well worth watching. Let me tell you, these are going to be wonderful little gifts. The holidays are coming up. These might make great little gifts, maybe for coworkers or friends at church. You know, you want to give something, but you're not looking to spend a lot of money. Yeah, you guys are with me, right? Yeah, this is always a struggle. These are wonderful. And I'm going to be talking to you about the note cards and envelopes. And when you purchase one package, you're going to be able to get 5 gifts out of just that one package. It's a pretty sweet thing. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Tonight, I am featuring the Tasteful Texture stamp set. I think you guys love it when I can use one stamp set and create lots of things with it. And we're going to be using minimal supplies tonight because we're going to use the one stamp set. We're going to use 3 ink pads, and we are keeping it very simple. One little embellishment, and that is some linen thread. This is what's really going to make the card that little extra special. Well, I say we quit yapping and let's get to stamping. So I'm going to head over to the stamping table. I've got my coffee over there ready. I hope you guys are ready too. Let's go. So for today's project, we're going to focus on the note cards and envelopes. I hope that you guys have checked these out. This is an absolutely wonderful product because you get the note cards, so you get the cardstock cut and scored, and you get the envelopes too. There's 20 in a package, and you can see the score line is already ready for you. We're actually going to need 4 of the note cards, and then of course we're going to need 4 of the matching envelopes, because you know, what good is a card without an envelope? 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, there's 20 in a package, so the gift we're going to make today, you would be able to make 5 of those from just one package. By the way, here in the US, $7, cardstock, envelopes, it's a pretty sweet deal. Now remember, I said this was a flashcard, so we're going to use some flashcard pieces. We're actually going to use 5 because we're going to decorate the front of our little gift bag. So I have a piece in Balmy Blue. I have 2 pieces in Highland Heather and 2 pieces in Soft Seafoam. Guys, these are cut 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then I have 5 pieces in Whisper White. These are cut 2 1/2 by 4 inches. I love the look of linen thread, and I love how inexpensive it is, and it's a great little embellishment. I've created 5 bows for my project today. My ink pad colors are going to match my cardstock: Highland Heather, Soft Seafoam, and Balmy Blue. Now, of course, we have to dress these up nice, right? We're going to use the copper dotted treat bags. My note cards and envelopes are going to fit perfect in this bag. And what's not to love, I hope you can see the metallic look of that copper, and it lends itself very nicely to the colors I chose as well. And we're keeping it so easy today. We love things simple, don't we? All right, we're gonna use the Tasteful Texture stamp set. I love this one. I have some great images and I have lots of sentiments. We're gonna use all of those today. Now, this does come in a bundle. I'll show you the bundle and a few cards with the bundle that comes with a set of dies. We're not gonna use the dies today, but like I said, I will show you a few cards that I created with the stamp set and the dies just so you can see how versatile this one is. All right, let's get started with card number 1. So we're gonna do a little cutting today. Let's cut 1 inch off of one of these soft seafoam pieces. And then we're going to cut 3/4 of an inch off of one of our Whisper White. All right, now this piece is a little bit long still, so we're gonna come back and we're gonna cut it down to 3 inches. So basically, we just need to get a little 1/4 of an inch sliver off of there. All right, let's start with our Highland Heather, and we're gonna come in with these wonderful little flower images. All right, now I'm gonna stamp this, and I think you can see, we kind of have a little dead spot right here. We want that dead spot to be down here in the bottom right corner. So let's stamp our flowers. And while I've got that out and stamped, let's stamp a few of these flowers down here at the bottom of my envelope. But I don't know about you, this bothers me. These flowers don't have a center. I'm gonna bring in one of my favorite rubber stamps. It's called a pencil eraser. I love to use a pencil eraser. Now guys, let me tell you, this pencil eraser is a brand new one. So you don't want one that your kids have been, erasing things. We want a really nice, crisp, fresh pencil eraser. And I'm gonna come in with a balmy blue ink pad, and watch this. We're gonna ink up that pencil eraser, and I will press it inside my flower. Give it a good press. Aw, super cute, right? So let's give all of our flowers here a nice little center. It just makes it look so much, oh, hey, let me show you. Do you see I didn't get that one very good? Watch this. Right back on top, boom, problem solved. All right, now while I have this stamp out, I'm going to stamp on the inside of my card as well. So you can see I just kind of hit just the edge and I filled in with my balmy blue polka dots. Now for our sentiment, we're going to say, you're one of those people who make my life better just by being in it. And we're going to do that in balmy blue. Let's stamp that right in the center of our 3/4 by 4 inch Whisper White. There we go. Now I'm going to come in with my card, and we've got an image here that's just, I don't know, some little scratches or something. I'm gonna ink that up, and I'm just gonna stamp that right down here at the bottom right corner. All right, we're going to put our card together. So I'm just gonna add some snail. I think you can see exactly how we're gonna put this together. We will layer together our focal image here. I'm now gonna add this to the front of my card. And I'm gonna center that up on these 3 sides. Now let's add our sentiment. You can see we're just going to adhere this together. And that sits right here. You can see that just gives just a nice little peek of color sticking out there. All right, now we want to add one of the linen threads. Now I'm gonna share with you my little trick. I'm gonna take a mini glue dot, and I hope you can see, I'm just kind of rolling it into a little teeny tiny ball. Now you can decide where on your card you want it to go. I think I'm just gonna go here in this corner. And so let me add my linen thread bow, because I think this, doesn't it? It just complements the card so nicely. Love it, love these colors. And I wanted you to see, you can do these cards with the bow or without. So you pick your favorite. I don't know, I kind of like to add a little something to my cards. And like I said, that linen thread is a very nice, inexpensive addition to a card. All right, for card 2, we're going to use Highland Heather. And I need to come in and clean my flowers because now we're gonna stamp them in balmy blue. So let me give those a quick clean. I will clean my little scratchy stamp. I don't know what to call it, but that works for me. All right, we're gonna get that one cleaned. And hey, we're at it. Let's just get our last one. All right, that way we know everything is always ready to go. All right, so now I'm gonna bring in balmy blue and Highland Heather. We'll use the soft seafoam here in a minute, but let's get our sentiment, which is, thanks for making it easy to believe in myself. Isn't that a great sentiment? We're going to stamp that in the Highland Heather. Let's put that down here in the bottom right corner. Now I will come in with the flowers, and you can see it just kind of gives me the ability right where I've stamped my sentiment. I can figure out where I'm going to stamp my flowers. That works. You know what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get our envelope since it's here, and we'll stamp those in Balmy Blue. All right, we're going to be making some more polka dots. Now remember, this had that Highland Heather ink on it. No, Balmy Blue. I can clean this. Remember, it's just rubber, just like a rubber stamp. So I can easily clean my pencil eraser, my polka dotter. All right, let's come in with our soft seafoam, and we're going to add our polka dots. I'm going to come in with the little scratchy stamp. I'm going to stamp off once. I don't want this quite so dark. And I'm just going to add that behind my sentiment just to give it a little something extra. Guys, this card couldn't be more easy. We're just going to put our snail on the back, adhere it to our Highland Heather. Let's add a couple of those flowers to the inside of our card. And then I'm going to stamp Just Believe in Highland Heather. Let's stamp that down here at the bottom. We can add our focal image to the front. All right, it's all stamped. Let's come in with another mini glue dot. Again, I'm just going to kind of roll it in a ball. And for this one, I think I'll add my bow up here in the corner. So again, inside of the card is stamped. You can go without the bow or add. But oh my God, look, on both of these cards, I missed a dot. We got to fix that. How did I miss it on both cards? I'll never know. All right, we're good now. All right, so there's our second card. All right, let's work on our next card. And this one, we're going to be using the Balmy Blue background. So there's my card and my envelope. Let's go ahead, and we need to do just a little bit of cutting to our Whisper White. We will cut that one down 1/2 inch. All right, so we just need a little tiny piece for our sentiment. Let's start with our Highland Heather ink pad and this wonderful little flourish. I love this. Now, when we stamp this, we want to stamp it down here at the bottom of the cardstock. So let's center that up. And while I have that out in the Highland Heather, I'm going to stamp on my envelope, and you notice I just kind of went off a little bit there. And now for the inside of my card, I'm just going to just tap just a little bit. And you know what? We're going to take our little scratchy guy. I'm going to stamp off once so this isn't quite so strong. And I'm just going to add some little bits right here on the side. All right, now with my Balmy Blue, we're going to do our sentiment, good things are sure to happen. We'll stamp that above our flourish. And now for that sentiment, we're going to say, you deserve it. We're going to stamp that in the middle of this little 1/2 inch by 4 inch piece. And then on my card base, I'm going to stamp Just Believe down here in the bottom right corner. We're going to turn this little 1/2 inch sentiment into a flag. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut right straight up in the center. We're going to do that on both ends. Now I will simply go from one corner to the end of my cut. Do you see that? That's a great way to get a nicely centered banner. So let's do it to the other side. I just think it looks better as a flag than just, you know, a straight piece. All right, so for this sentiment, what I want to do is add my snail to the back, and I'm gonna center it up here at the top. Top and two sides, get that centered up. Now down here, we're just gonna do a simple tear technique. And to do that, you take it very slow. You notice I'm pulling towards me, and that's going to give me that nice little rough edge. And you just do it in little, you know, let's take it in little slow little spurts, and we get that nice little torn edge. I'll add that to the front of my card. Isn't this going to be a great card? Now for my sentiment, I'm going to go ahead and go with dimensionals. And 2 should be plenty. So let's add that to our banner, and that will simply go right across our flourish. Pretty, pretty. Look at that. And you know what? I realized I stamped that in the wrong place. Guys, I really should have had more coffee before I shot this video, but you know what? It works for me. I still have plenty of room to write my message, so I'm not going to stress about it because that's stamping, right? All right, we're going to add another linen thread bow. Let's see. You know what? I think I'm going to put it down here by my words, just believe. I want to kind of feature that sentiment just a little bit. Yeah, I like that. There we go. All right, so let me bring in my original. That's how it should have been stamped. But you know what? Like I said, I think it still works. It's going to work for me. All right, there we go. All right, let's talk about that Tasteful Texture stamp set and bundle. Guys, I've got my annual catalog. This is my 2019-2020 Stampin' Up! Catalog. And if you'll turn to page 135, you're going to see the stamp set. And then here are some great samples of some of the cards that Stampin' Up! Created with it. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that the Tasteful Texture stamp set actually comes as a bundle, and you can see the 3 dies that come with it. But you know what is really impressive about these dies? Let me show you what they look like when they are die cut. So these dies are actually meant to be accents. So when it die cuts, you're going to have lots of little pieces. Now you're not going to use those. So you're going to use these kind of in the opposite direction that you would a die. So you can see with this one here, I laid it on my cardstock and die cut it. And then that allowed just the, in this case, very vanilla that's behind it to really pop. Gives a great impression. Now let me share with you the other 2 dies. You know, I'm just crazy about these flowers, and I thought that one looked really, really nice. A little more, maybe a little less elegant, but I still like it, and I think it gives a really nice look. You notice I used the same stamp set and just added the sentiments, but I also want you to notice the texture I added to the cards. Now, guys, I actually have a video on the 3 cards. In fact, let me show you the last card, because it's my favorite card. I love this flourish, and you can see it's just a really great way to add just a nice impression to a card. Now, as I said, there is a video. I'm going to have the link to the video of all 3 cards. So if you want to learn how to make those and how to use those dies, I do have a video on the cards. Be sure to check that one out. But let's finish up with our last flash card and then our little packaging that we're going to do for our gift. I'm going to take a minute to make sure I've cleaned all my stamps. I want to make sure everything is clean and ready for my very last set of cards. Now, so I've got one more card, but I also have the front of our bag, and I'm actually going to do those at the same time. So I've got my soft seafoam and that flourish. Guys, I want to stamp this flourish in the top of each of my remaining 2 pieces of Whisper White. But here's what I'm going to do. I've stamped it once. I'm not going to re-ink, and I'm going to stamp again because I need this one a little bit lighter. See what I'm going for? I want to clean that flourish because I'm going to stamp it again now, and I'm going to do that in Balmy Blue. And this time I just need just a little piece of it, okay? We're going to stamp that on the inside of our card right there. And hey, guess what? I got it right side up this time. Woohoo! All right, so the piece that is the darker soft seafoam, I say darker, the 1st generation, 2nd generation. We're going to take the 1st generation, and we're going to say, thanks for making it easy to believe in myself. This is the cover of our bag. We'll stamp that down there. Now, with Highland Heather, we'll stamp the sentiment that says, take time to do more of what makes your soul happy. We are going to stamp that right here in the center. Ah, now you see why we needed that one lighter. I wanted to make sure that my sentiment was able to pop. All right, let me set that one off to the side so that we can work on our technique here for our remaining card. This is actually one of my favorite techniques. I'm going to put a little dot of snail, just a little bit, and I'm going to de-stickify it a little bit because this is only a temporary hold. You notice I'm just tapping it so that I get a little sticky, but not too much. And what I want to do is I'm going to line up the bottom of my Whisper White cardstock on the bottom of that soft sea foam. Center it up from side to side. We want to make sure we're centered. Give that a press. All right, here we go. We're going to do a tearing technique. And what you're going to love about this, it's going to allow these two pieces to layer together, torn correctly. All right, now we're going to use this piece. So please be careful when you tear. But I also don't want to hit this, you know, our little stamped image. So here we go. I'm going to start to tear. And I'm going to tear down, all right? I'm going to come down a little bit. Let me show you. So tearing, and again, like I said, you want to be as careful as you can. You notice just little short little spurts coming down. We don't want to go all the way down to the edge. Like I said, we're going to use this piece. But here we go, last bit. There. Now let me show, so like I said, we're going to use this. Let me set that off to the side. Now when I lift this off, I can now add snail to the back of it. Watch the magic. Well, as I throw it across the room, you can watch the magic. Okay, so when we center this up now, look at that. My torn edge is all nice and, yeah, pretty cool, right? Okay, let's go ahead and add this to the front of our card. That will go right there. Now, we're going to use this extra that we had left over. We're going to make a sentiment. Now, the size that you cut this, of course, is going to be determined on what size your tearing took place. You're going to need at least a 1/2 inch on your Whisper White. So let me go ahead and cut that little piece. Now, you may be going, well, Connie, why didn't you cut it first? Because it would have made tearing very difficult. So we'll cut that down to 1/2 inch. This is now truly scrap. All right, there's my little 1/2 inch piece. Now for this one, I need to go a little bit bigger than a 1/2 inch. And again, it's just going to be determined on where I cut. So there's no right or wrong. It looks like actually I can go 3/4 inch. You may be able to go just a little bit less. You may be able to go more. I wouldn't go more than 3/4 inch, but it's kind of however it lands. All right, there we go. I did all right with that one, but I do want to bring in my original to show you. Well, let me show you that I just smudged it. Oh, I did. I had purple on my fingers. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll just do that. Yeah, so you notice I had to go really, really narrow with my mat for my sentiment. You do you, okay? Because it will be different for everyone based on how their tearing turns out. I'm going to stamp "You Deserve It," and I'm going to bring it all the way over to the right side or the left side. It doesn't matter because we're going to cut it down. And guys, I am simply going to snip. That's it. Now, when I layer this onto my soft sea foam, I'll layer it on 3 sides, and then I can just simply trim it down. So we've got that. And now I can just eyeball that. You can also come in with your paper trimmer as well, but there we go. I'm ready to add that to the bottom of my card. Let's add a bow. Taking my mini glue dot. This one I think I'm going to add at the top of the flourish here. There we go. And let's add a bow. There we go. Inside of our card. I didn't show it, but you notice I just stamped the flourish there on the envelope, just like you saw me do a second ago. So there we go. A card without a bow, without a smudge, or with, you take your pick. All right, to create our bag, we're simply going to add our sentiment, our little focal image with the sentiment here on our Highland Heather. And guys, this is simply going to add to the front of our bag. I do want to wait to adhere it because I want to put my cards in first. So there are my 4 cards. Let's stack those up. There are my 4 envelopes. Stack those up. All right, all this will go down into my bag. Push them in all the way to the bottom. And then we're simply going to fold our bag over. Now, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge, but what I like is I have a nice pattern on my bag. Kind of helps. So I'm going to use those polka dots here to help me line that up. Come in with my bone folder and give that just a nice crease. And you know what? The bag kind of stays closed on its own. All right, now we can add our focal image. This is why we wanted to wait to adhere that until we had our cards in the bag so we could center it up. We should have one last linen bow thread or linen thread bow. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I stamped my sentiment a little crooked. Guys, I guess my mojo is just somewhere else today because I don't think I stamped anything straight today. So guess what? I'm going to fill in that spot and I'm going to make it look like I meant to stamp it off to the side. I did. Please tell me I'm not the only one who does silly things like that and stamps things crooked off to the side. We just have to learn to make it work. There we go. Guys, what a great little gift. I hope you enjoyed the project tonight and I hope it inspired you. Guys, remember, even just the techniques that I showed, you could use a different stamp set. Obviously, you can use different colors. I just really like this nice little soft color collection. And remember, you can always change up the sentiments. I know you have a lot of those sentiment stamps. This is a great time to use them. So, now if you want to find out more information about tonight's project, here's what you can do. As soon as this video is over, if you will head over to simplysimplestamping.com, I will have the blog post there for you. I'm going to have all the measurements for the cards because we did do a little bit of cutting, didn't we? And you're going to want to be able to grab those. And if you're ready to place an order, maybe you don't have the Tasteful Texture stamp set, or maybe you really would like it as a bundle or those note cards and envelopes, look for the supply list and click a pick. It's that simple. You'll click it. It's going to take you right to my online store and you can order what you need there. Guys, I would be so thrilled to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so I hope you'll consider ordering right there at simplysimplestamping.com. I hope you enjoyed the project tonight. Hey, if you did, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I always appreciate that. And as I said earlier, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please take a minute to click that great big red subscribe button. YouTube will let you know whenever I'm back with either a new YouTube premiere or just a new video. I share 3 videos with you each and every week. Lots of stamping inspiration coming your way, and I would love to have you as one of my subscribers. Now, my next YouTube premiere, mark your calendars for Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m. Central Time. I will be back with a new video for you, a new YouTube premiere. I'm looking forward to chatting with you then, so be sure to mark your calendars for October 24th. All right, my friends, that is all for me. Thank you again so much for being here. I hope you find some inspiration and you'll get to stamping this week. We'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good night. Bye-bye.